Part of the reason why people abuse substances has to do with God consciousness. It's an idea that is very difficult to explain and understand. And unfortunately, this is my second to last video, and I can't really explore it with you. But basically, we're all born with some kind of innate connection to God. And if you seek to find that connection, this is where the idea of prophets and gurus come from. Okay? Pro-pet, pro-put, pro-pot, pro-top, pro-up. The wordplay, okay? The T is the plus and doing it backwards and so on. Pray, right? Pray, top, okay? Pray, pie, pray, pot, right? To put somebody, to be the bowl that covers the light, right? To prey on them. Pre and pry, right? Pry open the pot, and so on. You know, hookups. No, I don't think I went over this. Another one, to hook up, right? What does it mean? Do a hook-e, right? To play hooky from school, right? Hooky. Also, hockey can be seen as hooky. And goal-e, what does he do? He protects the goal. Another way to look at it, he protects something that symbolizes a woman's reproductive organ, her vagina, and the phallic symbol hitting the puck, which can be seen as the semen, and the ice, and you can draw parallels to water and to birth and so on. Okay, anyway, let's get into this sex trafficking thing. Okay, why a lot of these people help the New World Order is because they're in secret societies and they have some awareness of how things work. They're in law enforcement agencies, etc., and they have children. 300,000 kids are lured annually into sex trafficking in the U.S. And recently I saw an article about a potential congressman who admitted that he was sexually attracted to kids. And what was disturbing is he had this kind of satisfied porn star look on his face in the picture. And I'm not going to accuse anyone of anything, but this certainly is suspect to say the least. When we couple these statistics with 45 million people sexually exploited and sex trafficked, I assume they mean in the world at any given moment, you can imagine that this is disturbing. We have women who are conditioned to sleep with scum, and we have people who are sex trafficked victims who, more often than not, are also used to feed into social norms that get people to reproduce with gold-digging scum, with materialistic filth, with elitist trash, and so on, right? These people are trained to placate, to please rich people and people in secret societies who can keep their mouths shut, who are their customers, their Johns, right? Strange wordplay they use there, right? You can compare it to John the Baptist and John in Revelation, right? What kind of John and why? Okay. And I go as far as to say that this might take a while to explore and the different implications of this, and I don't want to get into that. This is my second to last video. All right, so the reproductive cycle, human trafficking. Think fast and be wise. In life, when you're in church, you're like, slowly swaying back and forth. I've gone over this, how this is the moon temple spirit, how this allows for a trance, like at night. You're in the nightclub, right? Versus, in the daylight, the elf being conquered by Narmer, in the Narmer palette. Incidentally, not all elves are said to be evil, but certainly they seem to all keep their mouths shut about how things work. They don't come out and say, when I say elves, the people that elves are based on, okay? So we think fast and be wise and good when you do it, okay? Think straight versus gay. And I went over the FAG, right? The wordplay, fog, have a fog state of mind, a fugue state. In psychiatry, they describe it as this kind of dreamlike state that makes people wander. It's also been described as a state that leads to temporal lobe seizures. So I don't think it's a coincidence they've been trying to make me gay, and they misdiagnosed me when I was younger with temporal lobe seizures. Okay, so they're trying to say, hey, we set this guy aside to be taken advantage of by people who see that as a potential opportunity to make him gay. Okay, and now I'm being chemically castrated and so on. Okay, and think about eugenics and how it ties into human trafficking. How are these 300,000 kids lured annually? You think if you lived in a country, right, where 300,000 kids are lured annually into sex trafficking, that they would do something about it. that there will be effective countermeasures placed. Why aren't there? Because this is how they maintain their satanic order. They coerce people by threatening them, threatening their lives, threatening them with rape, raping their children, abusing them. This is also why you can't put your kids in anything above God and the Spirit of God. Because either your kids will be sex trafficked and brainwashed, or you'll have them around and you'll try to do what you can, but they'll still be brainwashed to reproduce with scum who pass themselves off as good, right? The wolves and the wolves in sheep's clothes. The wolves in sheep's clothes are the more calculating, scientific scum. In many ways, they're almost better off being sex trafficked than being with their parents who teach them it is okay to sleep with the enemies of God. It's something to think about. There's something, both of them are deplorable, but there's obviously, Anyway, sense, feel, right? Feel, the foe of El. If you catch feelings in this world, you become the foe of God. Which El, right? El VIs, right? Elves, right? And it goes back to backwards. It is leaf with the word play applied, and leaf gets you to leaves. If you feel God, you want to leave this planet anyway. You don't want to have kids and have them be at the victims of these sex traffickers, of these trance-inducing psychological constructs using scumbags. All right, sun, see, sense. All right. So when you're on the battlefield, a martial artist, he kills them fast and puts them in order in their place beneath his feet on the battlefield. So the battlefield is kind of chaos. The martial artist moves masterfully and in a form that suits his mind, body, and soul, and in the Spirit of God, and brings them down beneath his feet. This is why light contact sparring also is significant. Life and death, nature, life and death, and so on. And hunting, how it relates to hunting and gathering resources and so on. So trafficking and naturally gathering resources. Trafficking, wordplay, try, fucking, Ray, fucking, and Ra, the children of Ra, fucking, right? Trafficking. It's like my trafficking, right? Try fucking, Ray, fucking, Ra, children, fucking, try faking, sex, right? Fucking is not the same as making love. It is faking. It's not natural kind of reproduction. It's kind of this unnatural, savage, kind of non-holy, faking sex. Right, these trafficking victims are faking the enjoyment to please their johns. Anyway, okay, organ harvesting, sacrifice, the organs and so on, and the medical procedures are also significant in this from the organs and so on. Real quickly, the picture of the black girl I put in this was Sadaria Davis. She was found with her fingers cut off and potentially her organs missing in an abandoned building in Garfield Park area in Chicago.